what has left for us to have a complete CRUD operation is to implement delete functionality. As it stands right now, we don't have the controller or the route for deleting. So let's go ahead and create that one. So here it goes like this. We are going to use the same concept for the getting of a single post. So let me copy this one and then place it here and change this one to delete. And here we are going to use what is called find by ID and delete. And that is it. So here we will say that post deleted successfully. And if you want to send back the post that has been deleted, then you can do that. But for me, I'm going to send this message as post deleted. So it's supposed to be success for this. And then the message is for this one instead. I think I need to modify this. It's supposed to be message for this, and this is for success. Let's go ahead and call this endpoint inside Postman. So I'm going to duplicate this one and change this one to delete. And change this one to delete. And for this, we need to pass in the ID of the post that I want to delete. So now if I hit send, now let's see, and we got post deleted. If I fetch all posts, I will not see that post anymore, which is this. As you can see, that post is nowhere to be found. Now, if I delete this one, let me copy that and back to the delete and provide the ID and delete, and post has been deleted. If I fetch all posts, let's see, as you can see, that one is gone. We have duplication of this post. Don't worry, when we get to error handling, we will avoid this. Now that we have the endpoint for deleting, let's get back to the client side and then implement that. So we need the API service for deleting. So here I'm going to copy this one, and this one is delete post, and change this one to delete. And then here as delete post API. And we will need the ID of the post and then pass in the ID over here, and that is it. So where are we going to call this? We are going to provide a button for deleting. So it means that we will need what is called the mutation, because here the endpoint is not fetch, but instead it is delete. So we will need the use mutation. But before that, let's provide the button for deleting. So I'm going to copy this button here, and down here I will say that delete. And let's bring in the use mutation. At this point, we are done with the hard part, and that is setting up React query and create the API services. So what has left is going to be the same format, just repetition. So our life is going to be much easier. We will just copy and paste the previous logic. So in case you are confused about this, I would advise you to watch the first section of this video to appreciate what we are doing over here. So now let's get back to the creating of the post. And here we will need the mutation only, but not the form. So I'm going to copy that and back to the post list component. I'm going to paste that. Let me require this one. And then here we will say delete post. And the API here is delete post API. And let me change this one to, I think it's okay for post mutation. So we are going to call this one and use a method called mutate. All right, so I'm going to create a handler for it as delete handler, which is equal to const delete handler is equal to this, and then here we're gonna call the post mutation dot mutate, and for this we pass in the post ID. So here when you call this function, you're gonna pass in the post ID. So we are going to call it inside the button here by providing what is called onClick, and then provide this, and then call the delete handler and pass in post underscore or dot underscore ID. And that is it. So let's try out. Let's refresh it and click on delete. Now it has been deleted. If I refresh it, as you can see, it is gone. But I don't want to refresh the page before I will see the update. And React query make it pretty easy for us to do that by using a method called refresh from useQuery. So it means that when the post is being deleted, we are going to refresh the post again as refresh. And here is the refresh function or method. Now, if I refresh it and click on React, let me see. Let me try again. Yeah, I think it is not working well. Remember that this is asynchronous. So it means that we need to wait it before we call this one. So here we're going to mark this function as async. And then for this, we have a method called mutate async. Alright, so here as mutate async. So it means that we can await the result as then here, and then here we can perform some logic, likewise the catch method. And in case we have an error, we are going to log the error as that. Alright, as just E for error. So this is where we are going to call refresh, because at this point we know that the operation is done. So with this one, if I refresh it and try again, as you can see, it worked. Likewise this, and let me go ahead and create one more. Let me provide this dummy text, and I will say MERN Stack, and provide this description, and post has been created, and indeed we have this post. And let me delete the previous one, and now we have one. Alright guys, so this is how we implement CRUD operation. So I can say that the first part for this project is done. In the next part, we are going to add what is called error handling. So that one is going to be a continuation for this. Let's continue in the next video.